Hello. So this is my submission for a maze, showing you how to make your own custom gun for shooting things. Here's one I made earlier. This is the basics of it. You've got your ground, you've got your trigger and button, and yeah, then when you connect the two, by default you grab the gun, and then when you push the button that completes the connection and the gun's fired. So yeah, let's put that together. So the first thing you're going to need is just like a piece of this stuff, which is just like a random chunk of polystyrene just chopped up into bits, into a nice kind of gun handle shape. So probably the first thing we're going to do is tape this onto here. The thing you want to consider is making sure that this is, before you apply it, stretched, because otherwise it'll be all folded up and stuff and it won't be a very good trigger. So attach that onto here and round. So your next step is going to be to wrap this section in electrical tape. I'd probably just do from this side round to here. So you can see now when I'm playing this, my fingers are going to be in touch and contact with this as the ground point. Now we're going to build the trigger. So the super sciencey bit of this is, you know, usually with the trigger, well, the way you'd think that it would work is you'd pull it down and it'd kind of go. But in this case, your fingers are going to be in the way of that. So what we're going to do is put like a piece of conductive tape here, and then that will mean that when you pull the trigger, that will travel down your finger into the ground and then make the connection. Same as before, make sure there's like a little bit of tape left over on the end to stick out. A quick pointer, make sure that you leave like a little bit of leeway space, because otherwise your finger will constantly be in contact with the trigger. Okay, so literally connect to here. Now, depending on which side you're wanting to use, left-handed or right-handed, you know, you can obviously place it on the opposite side to the one you're wanting to use. And then the only other thing you need to do is connect this to here, and then connect that to your ground. So now we've got our setup on the wires connected to the gun. Let's get it set up connected to the Makey Makey. So we've got our blue, which is our ground, which we just connect into here. And then we've got our key, which for player 1 will be connected into down. So let's connect that there. And then it is just a matter of connecting, get it the right way around. Fingers crossed. Oh, I need to connect the gun. Collect the gun. There we go. You know, which is just a chunk of polystyrene, and then two buttons. One set to left, and then one set to right. And the cool thing is since you're already grounded through your hand holding the gun, you just need to have the two buttons, and that will work fine. You will need an additional cable that you can get. You know, just pick up an extra wire to play it with, because the Makey Makey comes with 7 and you need 8 for this setup. So we got first the gun, player 1 gun, trigger, and your kind of ground wire connects along to ground and the trigger. Then you've got your two buttons, left and right, connected to left and right. For the second player, what we've got is a similar setup. You know, you two buttons for your ground and your trigger, your left and right here. And then what we've got here is a little bit different, because we're using the back of the board, because we've kind of essentially run out of inputs on the front. We've got your A, S and D, so that's A for left, D for right and S to fire. And these are kind of using the smaller little wire connectors to kind of branch off to the bigger buttons. And yeah, that's pretty much the setup of everything, with the exception of connecting it to the USB and then connecting that to the computer. Basically what I've got together, unfortunately I've got a very short wire to show this one because the battery's about to run out of juice, is I've got all the wires kind of fed in from, you know, the computers to the side. So in here, and inside I've got the Makey Makey wired up, and the mains and the lead to the computer coming through here. And yeah, that kind of, and all the wires leading out to the guns and the buttons and things like that. Notice how that I've decided to put the buttons on the board to make it a bit more easier for people to access. And also, people sat at this side kind of felt it a bit more comfortable to turn their arm and turn the button, which is kind of cool because you can just position it however you want. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll kind of show you some footage of gameplay now, and hopefully you'll enjoy it.
I've got a little bit of a hint as well. Swap this text upside down.
Yep, I can do that.
Yep. Oh, there's a gun over there.
This is a really good angle. Like, crazy good angle.
Yeah, he asked me to move it.
No, 5 got rid of most.
Player 2 camera is what it used to be. Player 1
No one would ever look at that and think that was real. No one would ever think, oh yeah, this is going to be a serious movie.
Really?
I just shot myself.
Actually, no, I'd make sure.
Wait, it was first to 25. I win. I give up. I won. Nice. First to 25. Fun? So you can always tell if someone's enjoyed a game if their hand has lost all functionality.